Just having a little bit of fun.
We're at a press
you
conference.
folks are on private property, you know. And I'm with the owners. Turn that camera off.
Does Adam Smith use federal tax dollars to pay for his office in here? That seems like we should have a route right up to the office.
Private.
This road is...
Everything around here is
Oh,
private. Police will be here shortly.
Thank you very much. We'll talk to them.
All the cops.
Good afternoon, and thank you for making it out here to join us today. My name is Melissa Chaudhry, and I'm your candidate for Congress in Washington's 9th Congressional District. I'm here today to call on the incumbent, Congressman Adam Smith, to step aside. This is not just a political campaign, this is an emergency. The path Adam Smith and his donors have led us down has led to endless wars, corporate greed, rising costs, partisanship, and social breakdown. After 28 years in office, it is time for a new generation of leadership to rise. Congressman Smith spent 2 weeks touring the media, calling on President Biden to step aside. It's time for him to take his own advice. There's perhaps no better metaphor for Adam Smith's career than Boeing. He was born around the time of the first 737 took flight, and just like Boeing's rise, his career has followed the same trajectory: corporate tax breaks, dangerous cost cutting, and the outsourcing of good jobs. On the surface, it looks like the American dream. But dig deeper, and you'll find decades of deregulation, financial greed, and betrayal of the public trust, turning that dream into a nightmare for everyone else. Boeing's recent history isn't just a string of bad decisions, it's a symptom of a broken system that Adam Smith helped create. When profits are prioritized over people, communities suffer. Who profits? Well, over 95% of Smith's campaign funding comes from special interests that profit from war. Over $200 billion per year has gone from our pockets in this district into the defense budget. But Adam Smith brings home $20 million for some community centers. That's less than 1%. Our communities deserve more. Our kids deserve better. His financial reliance on endless wars and surveillance has hurt families here at home, caused devastation abroad, and badly damaged America's standing in the world. His single biggest donor is AIPAC, an entity dedicated to the sole project of sending American money to support a foreign regime actively committing heinous war crimes that we're paying for. Adam's endless support for Israel's talking points and his paltry lip service to a ceasefire isn't an accident, it's a financial imperative for him. After AIPAC, his biggest donors are corporations that profit from endless wars and surveillance. Taken together, this financial reality means that Adam, who, let's remember, is the top Democrat on the House Armed Services Committee, will never use his position to meaningfully work for peace. Indeed, he's voted for endless wars and surveillance throughout his long political career and is one of a tiny handful of congresspeople still in office who voted for the illegal and financially ruinous debacles of the Iraq and Afghanistan wars. Remember, all of this comes at our expense. Every American dollar used to slaughter kids abroad is stolen from our own community's needs and used in violation of our own laws in ways that break our integrity, our morality, and our standing on the world stage. And every dollar that America goes into debt to finance these ruinous wars creates more inflation here at home, increasing the cost of groceries, housing, and fuel for everyone. Let us remember that every bomb, drone, and fighter jet is a home not built, a meal not served, and a life-saving treatment not given. And Boeing's shortcuts, just like Adam's immoral compromises for his donors' private profit, have made the world a more dangerous place for us all. Adam Smith has also spent decades playing dirty political games to block fresh, principled voices, particularly women, from reaching Congress from our district. And this time has been no exception. Our campaign has been threatened with frivolous lawsuits. Thousands of our signs have been stolen, our banners slashed, and community leaders who support us have been heavily pressured not to, over and over again. More than that, Adam lies in his fundraising emails, implying that he's running against a MAGA extremist and insulting the intelligence of everyone who knows how to read a voter's pamphlet. He talks softly, but is ruthless and cunning behind the scenes. Just like his record in Congress, he wants you to think that he's a progressive with our community's interests at heart, doing the right thing on housing, healthcare, and education. What he doesn't want you to know is that he has supported never-ending wars, violence, bombing campaigns, suppression of free speech, and warrantless surveillance on Americans his entire career. Every one of those terrible things makes us worse off and less safe, but makes his donors a killing. What should he have done? Aside from leading with principle and not betraying us for his donors' profit, he should have supported and mentored women or other leaders from marginalized and disenfranchised communities and rightly stepped aside so they could step up. Adam has been actively talking about retiring for over 20 years. And in his own book, Lost and Broken, page 49, he states that he thought his last election would be 2006. No woman, and no principled leader, and no true representative from the many marginalized and exploited communities here in our beautifully diverse district has ever had the chance to serve us in Congress because of his dirty tricks and toxic grip on power. The time has come to break free. Poetically enough, Adam was one of the leading voices in Congress advising President Biden to step aside for the next generation. It's time for him to follow his own advice. He has a chance to redeem himself by stepping aside and making room for leaders who will rebuild our communities instead of feeding the war machine. Adam has the opportunity to gracefully step aside, retire after 34 years in politics to a very comfortable life with his family, uplift the first woman ever to represent Congressional District 9, and leave our communities in safe, honorable, and capable hands. How many politicians get that chance? But his window of opportunity is closing fast. From now until November 5th, every day Adam stays in this race, and every dollar given by these connections that Adam brags about for him to spend on ads is a dollar stolen from the needs of our people. We are done with endless wars, Adam's filthy connections, legalized bribery, and dirty deals. It's time for a new generation of principled leadership who's truly accountable to the people. If Adam won't step aside, then it is on us to vote him out. For peace, for true prosperity, for safety, and for the future of humanity. On November 5th, let's send a message to Adam Smith and his donors, the merchants of death. They don't serve us, so we won't support them. We, the people, deserve a future better than what they're forcing on us. Vote to save our communities. Vote to save our future. Vote Melissa Chaudhry for Congress.
Adam Smith, step aside! 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 Leave us alone.
Go home. Step aside.